I'm Michael Smerconish, today from New York City, usually by way of Philadelphia. I normally reference my location second after some opening pithy line, but today it feels more relevant to say that first. See, I've spent my entire life in a 50-mile radius around Philadelphia. And if you grow up there, this weekend, the 4th of July weekend, often means going to the New Jersey beaches. Only that's not how we say it. We say we're going down the shore. And each South Jersey beach town has its own personality. Wildwood has the boardwalk. Stone Harbor and Long Beach Island, they're more refined. For my family, it's always been Ocean City. Famous for being dry because it was founded by Methodist ministers. But booze is plentiful just over the causeway in Summers Point, which is where back in the day you could find my high school buddies and me at a place called the Anchorage Tavern. It's still there. Then beers were $7 for $1. Tiny ones, 6 ounces, but still $7 for $1. We had earned our beer money mowing lawns and bagging groceries, saving up for that one big week where we'd rent a house, hit the beach, and then crowd into the Anchorage. And there, inside a side room, Ralph the bartender held court. He was mustached, he was mysterious, he dressed in aviator goggles on kamikaze night, he wore a grass skirt on Hawaiian night. But late at night, when that season's disco hit would crank from the jukebox, Donna Summer's Last Dance, the crowd would chant for Ralph to dance on the bar. And he would always wave us off. No, I'm not going to do it tonight, not tonight. And then perfectly timed, just as the song reached its upbeat tempo, he would leap onto the bar amidst all the empty 6-ounce glasses, and he would dance. And we would go nuts. Now, if you ask me, when was America great? I would say right then and there, hot summer nights, 1978, the Anchorage Tavern in Summers Point, New Jersey. And it turns out I'm not alone. Last year, the Washington Post asked Americans, when was America great? The answers varied by age and background, but a pattern emerged. Our personal golden age often lines up with when the music mattered most to us, usually in our late teens. Today, America faces a crisis of nostalgia. Too many feel that the best days are behind us. When we think of American greatness, very few are seeing the here and now. And that feeling has consequences culturally, personally, politically. One person has, of course, tapped into this yearning for yesteryear. That would be President Donald Trump. Only for him, it's not about the music. You would think that he might agree with me about 1978. After all, the year that I was watching Ralph the bartender dance to Donna Summer, Trump's real estate career took a giant leap when he converted the old Commodore Hotel in New York City. It was the deal that put Trump on the Manhattan map. But Trump is wistful for another time of American greatness. He's praised President William McKinley and the Gilded Age, the late 19th century, a time of economic protectionism and expansion, industrial might and territorial ambition, but also inequality, corruption, and hardship. But just like my memory of the Anchorage skips over the stagflation and the gas lines of the late 70s, Trump skips the grime of the Gilded Age. And I get it, no era is perfect. But I think that my glory days are closer to American greatness. And I'm here today to argue that if we're serious about restoring American greatness, it won't be by means diplomatic or economic, protectionist or globalist, Keynesian or market-based. It'll be through something that really did exist in the late 1970s, although it was already starting to fade. See, then we were still joiners. Churches, synagogues, civic clubs, bowling leagues. Our parents were engaged locally. Harvard's Robert Putnam called the result of all this belonging social capital. And in his book, Bowling Alone, he showed how civic engagement began to decline right around the time that I was at the Anchorage. And that alienation has only increased in recent years, now fueled by high-speed internet. They may call it connectivity, but the social scientists, they think that it's done a great deal to disconnect us. Today, we're lonelier, we're angrier, we're more segregated despite being connected online. The internet has actually fueled self-sorting. Consider this, in 1980, just 13% of U.S. counties were landslide wins for either presidential candidate. In 2024, it was over 80%. We've gone our separate ways for media consumption and political affinity, separated ourselves into Cracker Barrel or Whole Foods bubbles, like David Wasserman has documented at the Cook Political Report. In my Anchorage era, compromise wasn't a dirty word. Politicians could still reach across the aisle. Important laws were passed with bipartisan support because the public wasn't dead set on one side or the other. It wasn't red or blue, it was red, white, and blue. In 1964, Democrat LBJ won 44 states in the presidential election. Just 8 years later, Richard Nixon won 49. Ronald Reagan won 49 states in 1984. Those days are over. In 2024, there were only 7 swing states to be had. The other 43 states were so settled, red or blue, that the candidates mostly avoided them. Young people are paying the price for this division and disengagement. Depression, anxiety, social isolation, not to mention economic. Harvard economist Raj Chetty found that cross-class friendships are a top predictor of upward mobility. But if we're not meeting in person, we're not rising. Even our workforce is suffering. Many well-paying manufacturing jobs go unfilled, not because they're unavailable, but because young men are disconnected from work and from each other. And young women are feeling the strain too, rising success for some, but fewer suitable partners overall. As NYU Scott Galloway says, men need guardrails and connection, real human connection, to feel complete. And it's actually this vicious cycle. Without connection, men are not motivated to put on a tie and meet women. And women don't want to connect with unmotivated men who spend too much time gaming and surfing for porn. The more that young people feel boxed out of what we told them was the American dream, the more their own resentment and sense of lost opportunity intensifies. They don't think that America is great, no matter what the music might be. Partisan media mouthpieces have undue influence over primary voters, masking that Americans aren't actually that far apart on fundamental issues. Stanford's Morris Fiorina has documented that since my glory days, there really hasn't been a significant change in opinions held by Americans on fundamental issues. While we haven't changed, the parties have. They've grown more extreme, which helps explain why in the latest Gallup poll on party identification, it found that an all-time high 43% say they are independents. Next July 4th is going to be a milestone. Our nation will turn 250 years old at a time when many are considering whether we can keep the republic. Thank you, Dr. Franklin. I say we make America great again by mingling, by reconnecting, not just by posting a greeting to a high school classmate on Facebook, but in person, at the office, in our neighborhoods, in houses of worship, Little League games, volunteer programs, national service, military or not, student exchanges, local newspapers, community playhouses, theaters, concert halls, even if you can stream it. And this weekend, by watching fireworks in person, not on our computers or television sets, or maybe in a sweaty beach bar, cheering for a bartender wearing aviator glasses to climb on the bar amidst empty 6-ounce glasses and dance to a disco hit as you revel with strangers who've suddenly become your best friends. On this July 4th weekend, go find your own tavern. That place that cuts across party, race, and ideology and reminds us what it means to simply be American, even if the beers aren't still $7 for $1.